Hello. You are joining Pod 366, a weird movies podcast. I am your host of sorts, Greg Smalley, also known as Gregory J. Smalley, joined today, as I often usually am, by Giles Edwards to
Hello,
my
everybody.
left or right. And today we'll discuss a couple of pieces of news, and we will spend most of our time discussing the upcoming Sundance and Slamdance movie festival slates. Probably spending more time on Slamdance because Sundance is a little thin on the weird this year, as it often is. Giles will be covering Slamdance for us in written reviews on site. Some other announcements, I guess. We will have a new video series coming,
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
courtesy of Penguin Pete. We'll see if it's a one-off or if he wants to continue it. He definitely wants to continue it, and
Yeah.
see how frequently he can update those. He'll be doing a video review of Space is the Place, the Sun Ra movie, next week. Other announcement is next week's Pod 366 will cover pretty much exclusively the films of Jose Marin's, often also known as Coffin Joe, and we will have a guest on to help us with that, Ian Jane of Rock Shop Pop, a
Oh,
website. So with that out of the way, there is one other thing there, a sort of nepotism corner bit that we need to talk about, which is a new, Giles, why don't you talk about it? The new uh audio only feature from yourself, I think. And
there's actually Pete Turbovich is very heavily involved in that. I think I'd even go so far as to say he spearheaded this project. It's the audio project is called Dead Oaks Mall, and it's going to be, with a little luck, once we scrounge up some more writers, we have some episodes, an anthology series in kind of in a Twilight Zone vein, taking place in an eternity spanning mall and the various doings that happened there. We recently released an episode written by some anarcho leftist Canadian musicians that have been mentioned here once or twice before. Ignore That Door. They penned the audio play, and I provided some voice work. Young woman we've worked with provided other voice work, and we have a character attempting to return a thimble with dream logic things happening to her. So it's a kind of quirky, kind of dystopia, kind of dark kind of thing that is still very much in the formation, but not having a complete idea hasn't stopped us before. So Dead Oaks Mall is go. We've got 3 postings for it already, and we hope that it lands nicely with a modest audience.
yeah, I might even pin a story for it, depending on how dark I'm allowed to go.
You can go. You can go. You can. Yeah. I have no qualms about giving you a green light for a dark mole related tale.
Okay. So it's a anthology series radio play type set in a eternal mall of the purgatorial, I guess. Probably
Yeah. Yeah. Heavy purgatory vibes there. Yeah.
heavy purgatory vibes, which we all get from malls. Okay, so let's discuss the movies, or the week's news, if I can get my share going. All right.
Hmm.
Josh, what do you see?
I see what looks like a snapshot of a period drama. The character in the forefront has I don't even know what part of the world that might be from. I'm going to guess Iberian, either Spanish or Portuguese. It is Adam Driver, I believe,
Adam.
with I don't want to quite say a goofy haircut, but definitely one that is atypical for his well, he's in all kinds of stuff, isn't he? So yeah, a lot of action long hair stuff. But this is him, and over his shoulder is a woman who has a comparably confused expression, who is showing even less detail. So I guess I don't have much to say about this
You
snapshot.
know what it is?
I do not.
Okay,
Oh, is
so
this Meg? Oh, is this the big project?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
This is from I don't know where the provenance of this. I don't know if it's an official release still, or somebody snuck on set and snapped it. It's from Francis Ford Coppola's upcoming Megalopolis, and they are supposed to be sort of in pseudo Roman dress, kind of maybe Titus style mix
Okay.
of Roman and Art Deco.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's a good description
that The other still I did not post, probably was more arresting. Had I believe it was Shia LaBeouf in drag, looking very Roman.
there. That
Uh,
would be arresting, yeah.
Again, I don't know how official these are, whether they're leaks. I found them on a site. But the only news about this is that Francis Ford Coppola has announced that this project, which we've discussed and covered before, is completed and set to be released at an indefinite period in early 2024.
Well, I hope it goes a ways to helping him recoup the what was that, $120 million personal outlay of his?
Yes, he spent his own money, spent his own fortune on it. The log line elliptically suggests that the fate of Rome haunts a modern world unable to solve its own social problems in this epic story of political ambition, genius, and dangerous love. Coppola himself called it unusual. Adam Driver says it takes a risk. And Adam Driver should know about taking risks because he was in that movie where his daughter was a puppet, Annette.
Yep, yep,
There's Carrick's.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, this is a big one. Uh, Probably has disaster. I think I not to be mean. I mean, I hope it's great, but it probably has disastrous flop written all over it, and a self-indulgent flop that's nonetheless going to be interesting.
I
I'm
was gonna say, yeah, for our purposes, perhaps the more it's that, the better we may like it.
Yeah, I'm also getting some, maybe a little, although I don't expect it to be extreme and perverse, maybe a little bit of Caligula vibes off it, based on the Roman kind of theme and the ambition and the um, self-indulgent spectacle that we are all hoping for. So that's Megalopolis, will be up soon. We'll have a link to an article about it on the site, and yeah, well, we'll let you know when we know more. The only other thing is well, okay, Giles, do you want to describe the still here?
All right, wide screen to the left-hand side as we view this. There's some generic woodland scrub. To the right-hand side as we view this, there's a giant, dominating at least a third of the screen, pearlescent orb that has some markings on it that suggest a globe. But I wouldn't want to commit too full-throatedly to that. And this orb has an aura around its pearlescence, radiating a kind of pinkish haze circularly from it. And in the middle, touching this orb, possibly getting absorbed by it, is a young woman in a kind of, we'll say, stereotypical um, folk horror virginal dress thing, sort of tube of cloth. She's sporting a pink hairband of some variety, and it's kind of hard to tell what expression she has, considering the pinkish haze that she is observing there. But I would go so far as to guess perhaps somewhere around apprehension or wonderment.
All right, and do you know what it is?
Uh, yes, I saw the trailer, and of course, as I click those, this is still, I believe, from the movie Reflect.
Yes, Reflect is the name of it. It's coming out on VOD, low budget independent production. The woman we see pictured, I believe, is the star director and writer.
Good way to
Not
save money, economize.
not too much to go on. I think it's described as a trippy new age thriller, and it's five women, uh, mostly blondes,
All
with
of them impossibly slender.
all slender, all blondes, all attractive, and young, go on a retreat and strange at Sedona, and strange things happen. Watching the trailer, I wondered if it was going to be a satire of the New Age. Did you get any of those vibes, Giles?
I certainly see that it could be, but yes, with the two words you quoted there, New Age and shoot that well, but yes, it was a very ambiguous trailer, other than the fact that we're going to be following whatever is going on with these women in a particular set of woods with apparently some menacing entities.
I was going to say, though, that a trip to the official site sort of cured me of the notion that it would be a satire, although parts of it seem funny, deliberately funny. Like I think a girl says, I'm not down to be menaced by shadow people right now or something, but it seems like it's sincere because the woman who does it also runs a site devoted to metaphysics, and she doesn't mean the Aristotle book. So it's probably more sincerely intended as a sort of vision quest type movie.
Yeah.
And sincerity is always good. I think I saw a movie by Richard Bates Jr., whose title eludes me. It's King something, I think, that tried to satirize the Wiccan religion, and it just didn't go over very well. It's not really a good subject for satire because the people, they don't want to go really hard at these people because they're so nice. I mean, you can't.
Yeah. The film you're referring to is King Knight. Came out in 2021.
Yeah. So you're stuck trying to sort of satirize them, but be like them at the same time, and it's hard to find a tone where.
Yeah, well, it's often a downward punch kind of thing, and I certainly don't ever enjoy that myself.
So this looks to be sincere, probably weird, trippy, psychedelic. Don't know if we'll cover it. Certainly something that we could cover, however. But that's on VOD this week, and we'll have a link to that for those who would like to see it. And now we will jump into Sundance, which Giles, I think, knows almost nothing about what's on at Sundance.
Yeah, the only article I could find talked about some of their more standard indie mumblecore slice of life drama things. So take it away, Greg.
So I found three items that were all we are on the actual Sundance site right now. Can you see it, Giles?
I can see that. Yes, they wouldn't show it to me on my browser, but
Yeah. You have to get on Zoom and let somebody share the screen for you to see it on your browser. um, so there are three plus one I'd like to mention. There's a small still here, Giles, so maybe somebody praised your visual description, so I
Oh,
figured.
okay. Well, I will I'll start with what catches my eye immediately. Actually, in the background, there is a large aquarium. Light source is probably coming from a television, which I would have guessed, despite the imminent title giveaway we're going to give you. And there are two quite young people. My guess would be mid-teens, maybe late teens or thereabouts. And a young fellow looking kind of skeptically at the entranced young woman to his left. She seems to be utterly absorbed with whatever's going on the screen that she is looking at that we cannot see. So two young people hanging out on a couch. One of them seems either very interested in or kind of worried about the young woman who seems kind of glazed over.
And a very purplish
Oh
tint.
yeah, yeah. So whatever is showing on screen is I don't know, maybe they're watching From Beyond or something.
Yeah, it's well lit because I like the purple, the obvious purple light coming in, and then you have the bright, or the not bright green, but the marine green of the aquarium in the background. So it's called I Saw the TV Glow. It's from Jane Schoenbrunn, who wrote and directed We're
Um,
All Going to the World's Fair, which I think Giles may have seen. And
yes, yeah, I saw and reviewed that. My I will say she definitely proved herself visually capable with that film, even if I had maybe qualms with other elements of it. So definitely has a firm grasp of image proven in that movie, and of course with this screenshot, I see that has that ability has not left her.
and the text, we can just read it because we're on the site, the programmer's text. Teenager Owen is just trying to make it through life in the suburbs when his classmate introduces him to a mysterious late night TV show, a vision of a supernatural world beneath their own. In the pale glow of the television, Owen's view of reality begins to crack. I'd say it's a purple glow more than a pale glow, but okay. So yes. Seeing as this is in the midnight section where most of the interesting films that would interest us would be. On first reaction to seeing this, Giles, what do you think?
And considering the director and considering the premise, I am more than cautiously optimistic. Of course, whenever I see something about TV like that, I immediately think of Videodrome, and with cracking reality and all that. So if this doesn't have at least a nod or two to that source material, I'd be surprised. And considering the probability of that, it's at least going to be something worth checking out, even if it doesn't fully deliver to our exacting standards.
Yeah. It gets a warning for strobe effects, which means that there's going to be some psychedelic type scenes in it, and it gets a tag of experimental, which is always good. So that's that one. Now I'm going to have to go back and search for the next one. I had that one loaded up. The next one I saw that looked like it might have some promise. Giles, you want to describe our still?
Oh, okay. There's really not much going on here. I'd say about 2/3 of the screen is black or effectively black. But on the left-hand side, going up from the middle, spreading up to, I guess, the far left fifth of the screen, there is more purple. It is a purple illuminated reflective shot of a woman who I guess would probably be somewhere in her early to mid 20s. And she is looking distressed. And part of that may have to do with the fact that whatever reflective surface she's looking into is cracked, such that her left eye and that section of her face is featured somewhat detached and more prominently in the otherwise purple lit but very dark headshot that is on display here.
Yeah, it's Cubist. Apparently, purple lighting is the theme of Sundance this year. So it's also in the midnight section. It's called It's What's Inside. It's from a director I'm not familiar with, Greg Jardin or Jardin. or Jardin
That'd be a Greg Garden, I guess.
or Garden. Who knows?
Well, I mean, Jardin is French for garden, but that may be neither here nor there.
He probably doesn't pronounce it that way, but he could. The very slight plot description is a pre-wedding party descends into an existential nightmare when an estranged friend shows up with a mysterious suitcase. And so we don't have really much to go on there. The final programmer's note, it calls it a immensely entertaining, wholly original brain teaser of a film. So,
And I like the writer-director Greg Jardin's playful, sexy, and science fiction-infused feature debut plays out within a twisted parlor game. So, that's these are all words that are
these are
promising.
all words. Yes, they're all words that programmers use to try to get you to buy a ticket. And they're words that might get us to buy a ticket if we were there, but we're not. And so we'll keep an eye out on that to see what the reviews are and what people think about it, and if people are truly find it to be an immensely entertaining brain teaser, or that's just puffing. So the sort of last one that is another long shot for being weird is right here. Giles again.
All right, we've got middle-aged fella, young middle-aged fella, late 30s, early 40s, perhaps, white guy, prominent eyebrows, slightly disheveled hair, kind of a blank look, one that doesn't really betray much this, that way, or the other. But the main thing catching one's eye with this otherwise sort of bland photo portrait of someone's face is in the foreground, descending, I'm going to guess, from the sky, or I suppose they could just be floating gravity-free, is any number of tablets and capsules of the medical variety.
Yeah, pharmaceuticals. And you are obviously not a Friends fan, as neither am I, because that man appears to be
it's that guy. Okay.
David Schwimmer, since he's in this. And it looks like him, although I would have thought he would have aged more than that by now, but maybe just one of those guys like me that has an eternally youthful face.
Yeah, well, it's all that clean living, you and Dave enjoy.
The plot outline doesn't give me much to go on. A middle-aged filmmaker on the verge of a breakthrough, two kids in search of a lost backpack, a small dog a long way from home, and that's all. However, the text beneath it, the color text has some more interesting words. Idiosyncratic debut feature, a cockeyed but sensitive look at Hollywood dreams and disappointments, dark comedy about a midlife identity crisis, and a crime drama about a pair of taco truck entrepreneurs in search of their next opioid fix.
And yeah, a little further down, disorienting bursts of surreal montage and oddball AI animation.
That was the part, the surreal bursts of surreal montage and oddball AI animation. It looks like it hops around a lot of different genres, and the degree to which those disorienting bursts are actually disorienting, and actually the frequency with which they occur may tell us whether this one is going to be worth it or not. My guess is none of these three are going to be all that weird. I guess I probably have the most hope for the Schoenburn one. I saw the TV glow.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to mention, I'm not sure, since it's a short, I can't really, I'm not sure I can pull it up. Maybe here, Midnight Shorts Program. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yes. The Rainbow Bridge is a short that we need to promote. I believe it will be the weirdest thing playing at Sundance. Do you want to describe the still we see here, John?
All right, I will attempt to do it justice. There is looks like some procedure going on. It's one of those medical chair looking things, leaning back, kind of a guess there. There is a figure reclining, and on this figure, it looks like a small pet, perhaps one of those scruffy dogs. The adornments of this character, though, are what really catch the eye. There seems to be a tiara-like headband around this that has upwards, I don't know, 10 or 12 different electrodiode clips coming into it. The figure is covering his own face with a bright blue plastic gloved hand, pair of fingers over the lips there. And he is rocking some Jacoby shades, you may recall from the psychiatrist on Twin Peaks, a beautiful multi-purpose, because you can see 3D with the red tint and the blue tint going on there, or you can just look really cool like this guy is as he's leaning back for some reason.
No, it's a she.
Excuse me.
Doesn't matter, but
Oh, this person is leaning back.
and then there's another there's several other stills that they gave us, which you can see. This one is probably the most exciting. It's a woman, I think the same woman, standing next to a giant dog holding a giant sort of plush toy dog. It's twice as tall as her, holding a very elongated tongue, and there's a pastel pink background.
Lisa Frank. I don't know if you remember that from the 80s and 90s, but definitely that kind of color scheme for people who recall Lisa Frank days.
I don't.
And yes, some Romanesque columns on the right-hand side, lush, very artificial greenery.
So this description reads, Tina and her elderly dog Mimu discover a clinic promising human-to-pet communication. However, two sinister doctors uncover a bond between them so strong it transcends time and space. They might be the key to something greater, but at what cost? And in particularly, obviously the stills show you that this is going to be weird. The description shows you that it's going to be weird, but what seals the deal is that we happen to know that it's from Dmitry Simarkas. Hope I pronounced his name correctly, because I'm not sure we did, whom we interviewed as part of the Everything is Weird or Everything is Terrible team. Was it last episode or a couple episodes ago?
Oh gosh,
a couple episodes
ago.
And
last episode we spoke to our Hawaiian friend.
Right. He dropped a hint that he was going to have a short at Sundance, and this is it. And he co-directed it with Suki Rose, who is also a short film director, and I believe is his romantic partner, and also a partner in the Everything is Terrible collective. So that one is a really good one to see. Hopefully that'll get, I imagine after it finishes at Sundance, that will get released to YouTube or Vimeo or something like that, and we'll have a chance to track it down. Because Dmitry doesn't seem like the kind of guy who keeps his stuff locked up and out of the public view. He shares absolutely everything. So, Giles, why don't we take a short break and come back? Since we only have 9 recording minutes left, take a short break and come back to cover Slamdance.
Sure thing.
All right. We'll see you guys in a bit. All right, and we are back with the half of the podcast that gets Giles more excited, because he will be actually seeing these shows, these movies from Slamdance, Sundance's lower budget punk cousin, that runs concurrently with Sundance, also in Park City, Utah, and that must be something to see. Never been out there, but I wonder about those two crowds mingling, the big name Hollywood crowds and the scrappy little indies going to the same bars after the day is through and mingling together.
I suppose Park City must have bars despite the.
Oh, sure, they have to. Giles said that there were 5 movies he identified as potentially weird at Slamdance, and yeah, some of them are definitely weird unless the descriptions are complete lies. I also wrote down 5,
Oh.
so we're going to see if our lists match up exactly. I did not include any shorts. Did
Oh,
not.
I didn't either. I'm going to cover a couple of those blocks, but the five titles I got are all features.
We will see. All right, Giles, you can start off and you're going to share some stills with us.
All right. Do you see something, Greg?
I see something.
What
Do
do
you
you
want me
see?
to describe what I see? I just see a woman uh, with glasses staring quizzically at an item in the foreground that is out of focus, and it's kind of maybe it's either a rock or just something gloopy.
I think it's a tea bag, actually.
Tea bag, yeah.
But I've got a probably. I don't have my image crammed through Zoom like you do, and
Uh,
those
no,
hundreds of miles away. So yes, that is a tea bag of some sort. This is a still from Darla in Space that will be premiering at Slamdance with a plot description from IMDb saying Darla Peterson has just found out that she owes the IRS $349,000.22. She teams up with a sentient kombucha SCOBY named Mother, who has the ability to grant mind-blowing orgasms to pay off the debt. Is this a match made in heaven or the other place? And so that plot summary is definitely enough to make me want to check out what Darla in Space may be all about there.
yeah, I agree. That was one. That was definitely one I picked. Since I don't, you only have the image up. I don't have the information. Do you have the director?
Yes, the writer-director team, Eric LaPlante and Susie Moon. Um, I guess I'll see if I can do some quick clicking to see if they have done anything else that may have blipped on anyone's radar. This looks like an early thing for each of them, so this is might be an in on the ground floor with these certainly odd writers.
Yeah, anything. I didn't even know there was such a thing as kombucha SCOBY. SCOBY,
Scope, yeah, I don't know. SCOB1. Well, let's
like the starter material, I guess, from which they make.
yes, the symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. Yep.
But
So
if they're telepathic and can grant orgasms, everybody's going to want one soon. So,
and
yeah.
help you with the IRS debt, no less. So this
Oh,
is
yeah. Well, I mean, they can help you with any debt you want, I guess.
yeah. So that was that caught my eye.
Okay.
More of a long shot because I've been in touch with the one of the publicists behind this, old pal of mine, Kayla Heyer, who actually I believe you interacted with some years back when you made your field trip up to Fantasia. The next one is Love and Work, which briefer, Diane and Fox love to work. Unfortunately, they live in a polarized world where having a job is illegal. So a potentially interesting milieu there where having a job is illegal. And as for the notion of loving to work, that's almost entirely foreign to me. So perhaps for my own sense of bafflement, this caught my eye even more than it might others. But that probably more of a quirky comedy than a weird one, but I'll be giving that a look anyway.
It's another one I identified. It is described as absurdist, black and white. A clip is available on YouTube. However, it doesn't. It's a very short clip. It doesn't really give me much of a sense of what it's about. It's just basically stating the premise that hey, they want to go to work because they're bored of recreation. And I do think you probably do love to work, Giles. You just love to work at doing podcasts and movie reviews.
That's true. Yeah, it's all about
It's fun. It's not considered work. Also, if you don't get paid much, it doesn't.
it's yeah, it's less lucrative than yes, the moniker work would
Nearly
suggest.
anything you could do, less lucrative than anything, literally anything you.
I could wander around looking for change. But so that is second that caught my eye. Coming up next, this is a rather abstract image. Looks like a combination tree, mushroom cloud surrounding a front-loading window for a washing machine, and it is called The Washer, a film from, I believe it's a German filmmaker, Niels A. Witt. And while doing laundry, a young lawyer, Jan, discovers that the washing machine creates phenomena. The effect can be reproduced, and he massively expands his experiments. The machines run 24/7. Is he the only one who knows about it? And that is a cryptic bunch of words that might be translated from a slightly less cryptic bunch of German words, but it is I believe it's also black and white, paranormal, possibly thriller thing about a washing machine's superpower effect. So that definitely had some flags that catch our eye.
No, this is not one that I flagged. So I flagged one that you didn't.
Okay.
Although I do remember it, I thought that I don't know. I thought that the word phenomena, I think, was too vague and more likely to be something science fiction-y than weird.
Yeah,
Although it could be end up, you know, could end up being. But yeah, check it out and tell us what you think.
I will do that.
Uh,
The next
Frank,
one.
okay,
Oh,
go on.
oh, sorry. No, please.
I was going to say it starts not next. It does start next week, a little over a week from today.
Yeah, I think the 19th.
Yeah, I think it starts Friday.
Oh, I've got the schedule right here.
This is not.
Friday. Yeah, Friday, January 19th. So by the time you're seeing this, it'll be a week from now.
This is not a great poster for this movie. It has a better still on site. But you
Okay.
can go ahead and describe it if you like.
I believe this is an armlet at core, an armless skeleton. So neck down, you see down to the upper part of the hip bones, no arms, rib cage stuff, some shoulder blades, and it looks sort of flora overgrown or perhaps kind of scaly. As Greg says, this isn't certainly not a clear image. And as for the one Greg found, I'd be interested to see that. This was lifted straight from IMDb in the brief interlude. There, I imagine you're thinking of the one with the vehicle descending from the heavens. But
We'll get that up later. Oh.
either way, this is Complex Forms, a film by Fabio de Orta, which the premise sounds potentially just mumble horror sci-fi. Ancient villa, desperate people have the opportunity to solve their fate by selling their body to a mysterious entity in exchange for money. When enormous, centuries-old creatures emerge from the deep woods surrounding the villa, a series of strange and sinister events push three unlikely guests to band together to attempt a desperate escape. So yes, the image you're referring to, Greg, caught my eye, made me think, and checking out what Fabio de Orta did before this further intrigued me. Worked in music videos, worked in commercials, and also notably set design, which is strongly suggestive of a visual flair. As we know, Derek Jarman cut his teeth with set design before he went into making his own interesting and odd films. So the combination of background and sundry visuals that have been put in front of me make me hopeful about the Complex Forms.
Yeah, we actually have a trailer for this one. Did you happen to see it,
I
John?
did not see the trailer
I
yet.
didn't share it. I found it on my own. Trailer makes it look actually more expensive than your normal slam dance movie. It's set at a large villa, which they must have, been allowed free or cheap use of because it's a very expensive looking locale. There are shots in the trailer that look like clear callbacks to last year at Marienbad.
Oh, nice.
And it did look very intriguingly weird. And it will be, that trailer will be on our site. This is, yes, one that I also flagged. In fact, this is probably the one I'm most hopeful for. Is
Okay.
well, maybe not. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
it was the one I was most hopeful for until I came across this one, which is an animated feature concerning a slide guitar playing cowboy appears in a corrupt 1940s logging town to battle a pair of evil twins and save the village of Sourdough Creek. Now, it's all well and good. The main bit that caught my eye was, oh, this was written and directed by Bill Plympton, who is an odd animator for sure. I had the pleasure of the past year or two watching for the first time I Married a Strange Person, which is a very odd animated film. So happy to see there is a new period animation from him, and I'm greatly looking forward to that.
The only certified weird director with an in the canon of 366 weird films ever to debut a film at Slamdance, I'm sure. I'm not sure. I mean, he seems like this is going to be the big ticket item at Slamdance, I would think, because he has got a following, and he actually seems like too big a name. He seems like he should be at Sundance, at the bottom
Mm,
of Sundance, instead of at the top of Slamdance, but perhaps he likes the vibe more, and it's probably a very low budget picture as well. Uh,
yeah.
there is a trailer out for this, and it has his usual surreal flourishes to it. Animation style looks a bit scratchy, crude, sort of sepia tinted.
Uh, yeah. I mean, it's very, I mean, he's got his own style that if you're familiar with any of his work, it all, you can sort of see how it's all interrelated. So,
All right.
okay.
So
Yeah.
that is, yeah, I think that's probably the big ticket. Stop sharing, Giles, and
Oh, yes, with pleasure.
I will share the official Slam Dance program and get to the one a couple of things. Um, yeah, maybe it's not on here. I thought that one they're using that still from the complex forms and
Oh,
um, their logo on the
oh,
site.
there. Okay. Yeah. It's,
Now you can see it. You can see it here, but it's very small. If I can increase the size,
oh,
I can't increase the size, unfortunately. You can see it here, however, it's a car descending from the heavens, looking like it's about to collide with a man on in front of the villa at which this is set,
mhm.
the complex forms. So the one that you didn't mention, Giles, that I flagged as potentially weird is also on this same page. It's called the Bitcoin car, and
Ah,
it's just based on the description alone, which goes, after pimping out her old Toyota with money she got when a crypto investor started Bitcoin mining on her parents' grave, a morally challenged goat farmer fears that activity at the mine is endangering everyone. So I like the idea of a Bitcoin mine on someone's parents' grave combined with a what was it? A goat farmer. A goat farmer. And I believe I had done some other yes. No, that's it. It was just a premise that could be totally based in reality and yet sounds completely bizarre. And therefore, I identified that as a potentially weird film. It's also from Norway. So,
Wow.
we got
that says what it needs to, doesn't it?
So that about does it. Any final thoughts, Giles?
Other than that, I am pleased with the potential haul this year at Slamdance. Nothing particular. I browsed the experimental shorts and animated shorts because I always like to watch cartoons, certainly, and they can offer good leads for our Saturday Shorts segment to try and promote those because I remember last year's experimental and animation were both quite promising, had a lot of really neat things going on within them. So I am quite looking forward to this round here, and definitely pleased that Plympton is at Slamdance and not Sundance because I'm not covering Sundance.
So you get to see the Plympton. And yeah, the Slamdance shorts usually pop up on YouTube. Sundance less frequently. But Slamdance, I think, frequently show up. And so there's that. So that's just about everything. What's the weather like, Giles? Because we have a deep freeze coming. It's going to be less than, it's going to be not get to above freezing for 9 days, if they're correct.
Okay, well, coming up
Bad.
start of next week, it looks like we'll have some what used to be standard winter cold temperatures of hovering around freezing or much below during the nighttime. But this coming Saturday, it's going to be 51 degrees for me. And a few days ago, it was 51 degrees for me, which is not typical of the Northeast, although I suppose it might be now, but with all that nonsense of us being doomed going on. So
We'll also be getting snow. So what we get should follow up to you
okay.
a few days later.
So when you get snow, what level can it reach before Louisville shuts down?
Well, if a little old lady spots a snowflake flurry in the sky, there is an immediate rush on all the bread and milk at the grocery stores.
Gotcha.
However, for the rest of us, blizzard type conditions are extremely rare. We get ice is more of a problem. We have had some ice storms that are really bad. It can shut down.
We used to have more snow than ice, but again, temperatures have been hovering in that 30 to 36 band as opposed to well below freezing, which means it's just a snow of any amount. But yeah, got some warm days, cold days, and oh gosh, and we're almost halfway through January, which means we're well on our way through winter. So
all right.
So
there we go. We've covered all of Sundance, Slamdance, the weekly news, and the weather,
and the weather,
Kentucky and New York. And so that's should do it for this week. Next week we will be back to talk about Coffin Joe. I don't know if we'll have anything else to talk about, but we'll talk about Coffin Joe with Ian Jane. All right. So see you then. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.